Welcome back to my little kitchen. On a very cozy day today, we have made some slow cooker pumpkin soup. This recipe is so easy and so simple to put together, so let's jump right in and show you how I make mine. Alrighty, I prepped most of the ingredients beforehand, you'll be pleased to know, but the ingredients for the soup, super simple, and they all can be found in my blog post or the caption down below. Supporting me by going to the blog post is the best idea, and then you get all the information about how I do this recipe. So we obviously are going to have pumpkin, around 1.5 kgs of pumpkin, and then we are also going to have some carrots. Everything is going to get blended up later, so everything goes in pretty chunky. So the carrots go in chunky, nice big pieces of pumpkin. With the pumpkin, a lot of people will find that it's really hard to cut. It is. Some pumpkins are incredibly hard to cut. Butternuts are nice and easy, but if you're going to be doing a big crown pumpkin or a really hard flesh one, then they're the best for soups. Then there's lots of ways to do it. You can throw it outside on the concrete. Lots of techniques online too to look at to crack them open. Otherwise, some people do like to roast them so they can then peel them. This soup, the pumpkin is raw, obviously, so account for that in your cooking time. I'm just popping all of these ingredients into my slow cooker. I'm going to cut up some garlic as well, so in there went a couple of carrots, 1.5 kgs of pumpkin, a roughly chopped onion and 3 cloves of garlic. And then in here I have got some spices and herbs, so I've got paprika, cumin, curry powder, some thyme, dried thyme, and a little bit of pepper. All of the measurements will be obviously on my website, so look for them there or in the caption down below. A tablespoon of brown sugar. This is optional obviously, but it just sort of lifts the sweetness of those beautiful flavours. If you like, you can add a pinch of nutmeg or a pinch of cayenne pepper. So cayenne pepper obviously is lovely because it gives it that little bit of heat, or nutmeg gives it that warmth, so sort of think those lovely autumn pumpkin-y flavours. So you can absolutely choose whichever additional spice you want, if you want to use it at all. And then the final step from here is to add your stock or your broth. So this is a chicken one. You can absolutely use vegetable. Today I have just used the little cubes that you add boiling water to because that's all we had on hand. You can otherwise make your own chicken stock, obviously from the carcasses that you freshly plucked last night on your back porch. You do you, but we're going to add this in. It is sometimes quite salty, so just be aware if your stock is quite salty. We don't actually add salt at the first stage of this recipe. We add it at the end when we're doing all our tasting and making sure that it's perfect. So we're going to pour that in there and then go to the next stage. So a slow cooker soup, much like any of my slow cooker recipes, can be done on low or on high if you are wanting to head out and have this sort of cooking over the course of the day. But also if you have a Instant Pot or a multi-cooker, you could actually have a soup in less than an hour. So it takes a little bit of time to get up to pressure, and then 12-15 minutes, I have to check my recipe, to get it so it's beautifully tender, and then you just let it release and blend it up. So you can have soup in a really short time with that same intensity of flavour. So they're really handy to have if you're looking at getting a new slow cooker. I recommend a multi-cooker. I like to squish the vegetables just in a little bit if I can into some of that stock and some of those herby flavours. So I'm going to pop the lid on this and cook this low and slow for the rest of the day until the vegetables are delicious and tender for about 6 to 8 hours. So I'll show you what it looks like after that. Alrighty, we're back. The house smells amazing. It has cooked beautifully over that time. I stirred it occasionally just to make sure that all of the pumpkin was down in the sauce at one time or another. There's no way I can show you what this looks like, but basically I'll lift up a big scoop of it for you. You can see there the potato is really tender. It's starting to fall apart. It smells so good. So the plan now is I'm going to pop it in my blender. I have a big blender that I can put hot things in. If you have one of those, it's quite easy. Otherwise, use a stick immersion blender to just blend this up in the pot as it is. So I'm going to pop this in here, and then I'll show you the next step. Do as I say, not as I do. This is topped up above the maximum line, but it's okay. We're going to put this on and hope for the best. And let's do it on video because I think, why not? Have got all of the pumpkin and all of the goodness in here. It is very, very full. We're going to blitz it up. At this stage, I like to give it a little taste just to see that I'm happy with all the spices and things like that. For some reason, it always seems to taste slightly different each time. This is also when you're going to check for those salt levels. So if your stock has a lot of salt in it, then you just want to make sure it's salty enough. You can add the salt now. Oh, that's good. I'm just going to add the tiniest little bit of salt just to bring out some flavours a little bit more, but not too much. Give it one more blend. So that is beautifully blended up. Now we are going to, it's a bit of faffing doing it this way. If you had an immersion blender, obviously you're just doing it in there, stick blender. but I'm going to pour this back in here now, and then I'm going to add the cream to it to finish it off. I would have added the cream in there, except it's not overflowing, but pretty close. So now we're going to pour the cream into there, just a cup of cream, half a cup if you want it less creamy, coconut cream if you don't want to use dairy. You can leave it out if you just like it as is, but it really balances it out beautifully. So we're just going to give that a nice whisk together. You can serve this fresh, warm now. You can cool it down and pop it in the fridge and reheat it each day. You can put it in little individual portions and pop it in the freezer, or gift it to someone that could do with some warm, hearty soup this winter. And yeah, it is that easy. So a quick little thing, a little bit of your time for an absolutely divine, cozy winter dish. Okay, so here it is, a delicious, easy, slow cooker pumpkin soup. It smells amazing around here. It feels like a cozy winter's day with the wind whistling outside. I'm going to serve this up this afternoon with some cheese puffs, because cheese puffs are elite. Both of those recipes are going to be on my website and on my slow cooker website as well for the soup. Thank you for supporting the work that I do by visiting my website to get your recipes. Otherwise, the ingredients are in the caption as always. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed following along as I make this soup, and have a fabulous day. And if you've made it this far, you can pre-order my very first cookbook on my website right now.